Hello and welcome to Teamworks. This is a podcast where we'll be covering everything to do with the gaming world. Each episode we'll be talking to people like ourselves. If you're a streamer or you're just a casual gamer that just wants to talk about gaming, we'll be talking all about everything to do about gaming, and from time to time we'll be talking about Marvel stuff as well. So if you're a big Marvel fan, we'll be talking about that. So this is our podcast. We are Teamworks. Hello guys and welcome back to the podcast. This is Teamworks. This is season 2 and already we are on episode 14. We'd like to welcome this week Mike and Tabby from the Gray's Taproom podcast. How are we doing, guys?
Doing well, man. How about you?
Doing fantastic.
Not bad. Thank you very much for coming on the show. How are you, Phil?
I'm doing good, mate. How are you?
Not bad, mate. So, Mike and Tab Gray. Is it Tab Gray? Yeah, I got that one right.
Either Tab or Tabby.
Tabby. Okay. Well, so
either Tab or Tabby, whichever.
Would you guys like to tell just us two a little bit about yourself and the people that are listening in?
Yeah, absolutely. So we are a podcast based out of Louisville, Kentucky. We've been in the podcasting game for almost 2 years.
Almost 3.
Almost 3. It'll be 3 years this year in August. Wow. Actually, a little bit longer than that because we did have a podcast previous to that. But we didn't do much with it.
A long time ago.
A very long time ago, before COVID. But our show, we talk about literally anything and everything except politics, religion, sexual orientation. So, like, we do the fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
We have a couple drinks. And
a couple,
yeah.
That's a loosely used word.
That is very loose. So we're social. Listen to me.
No, you're right.
A comedy and pop culture kind of podcast. We talk about movies. We talk about music, TV shows. And then we also have a Patreon, which we have bonus content on there.
We have 2 shows on there. We have our monthly Last Call episode.
Which we get really, really drunk and hit record. And
it comes out the first of every month. Yep. And then we have a bi-weekly show called Taproom Recast, where we take popular movies
that are older than 20 years old.
That are about 20 years and older. And we will recast them with today's actors.
Amazing.
As if they came out today.
I absolutely love that because when we've had guests on our show in the previous episodes and all that, we love it because we always get a different story behind everyone, and just listening to why you started your podcast and what you do on it is amazing. So what really intrigues you with the podcast world?
Honestly, we love having guests on our show.
Yeah.
And we love guesting on other shows.
We love the community about it.
The community is really fun. And, you know, it's a time for us to let loose and just have fun.
With friends.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? It really is. I believe you do a Taproom radio as well, don't you?
Yes, we also have a radio station. We haven't done it in a long time, but we...
There is a link you can click, and if you want to listen to the music on there, then it's running 24/7, ad-free.
Ad-free.
Nice one. We'll definitely give a listen to that, won't we, Phil?
Absolutely. Sounds good.
So, Phil,
it's got completely random.
Oh, has it? Oh, wow. I love any music that's random because you don't know what you're going to get. I love that.
1 minute you could be listening to black metal, and then the next minute you could be listening to Backstreet Boys.
Yeah.
So.
Brilliant. So, So, Phil, is there any questions you would like to ask Mike and Tabby?
Absolutely, yeah. So, because you've been podcasting for so long now, have you ever had any negative experiences, or maybe not even negative, but ones that might not have been completely positive?
Yes.
We've had we've had a couple of guests on the show who thought the whole concept behind the show was to see how fast they can drink.
I wouldn't say that was negative.
It did turn out for some pretty good stuff.
It turned out to be quite a popular episode.
Quite funny. What was another negative one?
Well, there is a former podcast that we were friends with. Ended up that show is no. I'm not going to say name names or anything like that.
Yeah.
I respect that.
Let's just say threats were sent out in our direction.
Oh, right.
So,
Not great.
But you know what?
No.
Why though? Why? I mean, people must have a sad life to try and wreck other people's lives just over podcasts. You know what I mean? And it's,
to be fair, James, next week I'll be sending you threatening messages, so it's all good, isn't it?
yeah, but the thing is, I can take your threats.
No, I mean, there's no need for it, is there?
No,
but I mean, the fact that yous are still going and they're not just kind of shows you, really, doesn't it?
yeah. It's then another one that I just remembered. Somehow there was some beef started, and trust me, there's so much drama. You just got to decide whether you're going to feed into it or not. And we ended up being blocked by like 3 or 4 other podcasts.
Yeah.
We didn't know why.
But it's no longer around anymore either. So,
but honestly, I don't care. I mean, you weren't a listener anyway, so that doesn't hurt me none.
They were sort of using us for personal gain.
Yeah. Ridiculous.
And it ended up actually being that was the demise of their show.
Oh, good. So, well, something good came out of it.
Yes. Yeah, you got look on the bright side. Something did come out of it really good, and at the end of the day, they've lost out, not you, isn't it?
Right. Yep. And
pretty much,
I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
Yep. I'm like Gandalf. I'm here for both.
Definitely, and I believe you're from Lewis Valley, is it? Whereabouts is that again?
Louisville, Kentucky.
Oh, is that how you take it? Say it. Sorry.
Yep.
Is that how
okay.
Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, Louisville. Very Louisville.
Say Louisville with a mouthful of marbles. That's
all right. I see. I get it now. Yeah, I get it now.
I'm not. I've only lived here for 20 years. I'm not originally from here. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah. Is that all part of America or?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. Oh, yeah. So I did get something right then.
No, we're so we're in Kentucky, which is the largest producing
home of bourbon.
Yeah, there we go.
The bourbon capital of
it is the bourbon capital.
Oh, yeah.
We also have the horse race, the Kentucky Derby.
Yep.
The
baseball bats.
Oldest and longest running sporting event.
I think I've seen that. I've seen that on YouTube and all that. Yeah, I've actually seen that sport. It looks interesting as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting to people who don't live here.
Something that spectacular is actually in the hood.
So are you not a big fan of them then?
I like it because it's a 3-day weekend.
Yeah, that's why
of partying.
I like it because it's a 3-day weekend. That's it.
Does that mean more alcohol then?
Yes, it's a 3-day bender. You start drinking on Thursday when you get home from work, and then you drink all day Friday, all day Saturday. So it's a 3-day party.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about the sport, or it matters about the event, and you just have a good time, isn't it? Basically.
Oh yeah.
Good food, good people, good drinks.
Mm-hmm.
I think we're going to have to visit this event, aren't we, Phil? It sounds good.
Oh god,
It's pretty rad.
Love to.
And lots of gambling too. So if you like to gamble.
Well, we don't normally gamble, but I think we can. If we're there, you got to, haven't you?
I mean, I've done it in the past, and I've clearly found I have problems with it. So.
Well,
but
you guys
do you know
come
what?
over here.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
I was gonna say, you guys come over here. You can do the kid version of the gambling like we do. Our neighborhood takes up a pot.
Yeah.
To where like you put in like $2 or $5 and
up to the max is, that you're allowed to bet is
$20 per horse, and you get to pick as many horses as you want. And then if you win the race, if your horse wins,
I pick all the horses, so I'm undefeated.
But you don't make any money.
I don't lose any money either.
That's not how that works.
That's a game changer, then, isn't it?
I'll derby my way. You derby your way.
I want other people's money.
So, as this is a gaming podcast, obviously there's going to be a few gaming questions put into there as well. But it's very simple questions, and I think both of you will be able to enjoy it. I know, Tabby, you don't know much really about the gaming world as such, do you? But you will know about this question, and it's basically the question I've got for you. My gaming question is, what console did you very first play on? And that's the question for both of you.
My first console that I played on was the original Nintendo, the NES from '85.
Wow,
that one was mine too.
And what did you like the best out of that console?
Super Mario Brothers.
I liked the
graphics in it.
The Ninja Turtle and Double Dragon were my two favorites.
Amazing. And if they could be remade right now, what console or any platform would you like it to be on?
I guess Xbox for me, because that's what we have.
Nice. And you imagine if the... Well, I play on PlayStation. I've got a PlayStation 5. But I do have me brother's old Xbox One S. So I've got an Xbox as well. And also a Nintendo Switch. But I've literally saved up and never thought I'll say this, but I ended up getting myself a gaming PC. I wonder why. It was one of them. I do a lot of streaming, you see, so I stream the games, and a PC opens more options when you're streaming, like, you know, your overlays and stuff like that. You can have sound alerts and everything for people to mess about with in your streams and all that. And the other reason why I got one as well is basically to have a good operating system to do my podcast recordings.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
That's awesome.
Bit of a mixture, really. I mean, I'll hop on. I'm mostly playing on PC at the moment. Some people are like, "Oh, you're never on the PlayStation anymore." I thought, no, it's you know yourself. If you got something at the side of you there, you know it's there if you want to go on it, don't you? But,
see, I'm racking my brain on what I would put it on, because I mean, I only play a couple games on the Xbox with you, and they're mostly fighting games.
Mortal Kombat, yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. I don't think I would want it to be remade. Well, the game that I chose.
What, Super Mario?
Yeah.
Even though every time Nintendo comes out with a new thing,
Super Mario's
right
always,
there with
yep.
Well, Super Mario Bros. Not the original one, I don't think, but there is a Super Mario Bros. game out on the Switch. So I believe.
Gunnar has it.
Oh, nice.
Our kid has a Switch, and he's got the Mario game. Like, I think it came with it.
Yeah, I mean, they're not stopping with Mario games, are they? I think Mario's just going to live on and live on. And I actually enjoyed the movie. What did you guys think of it?
I liked it.
It was fun. I liked the Easter eggs from different Mario games.
Yes.
Like, my favorite scene in that movie was when they were on Rainbow Road from Mario Kart.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
That was fun. I really liked it where they went from live action to basically the in-game where he was climbing up the platforms. I thought that was a good scene.
Yeah.
But yeah,
See,
that was a lot of fun.
I quite like the fact that so like it kind of shows you that part where you're talking about where then he's jumping from bricks to brick sort of thing, and it kind of shows you just the level of difficulty that would be in reality when you think about the actual distance that the character's jumping in game sort of thing.
Yeah,
it's kind of crazy. But I was a fan of the fact. Well, sorry, no, I found it a bit weird thinking about it before it came out. The thought of Chris Pratt being Mario and Jack Black being Bowser, because you think of those characters and you think of the actors and you don't pin the two together. I don't know what the difference is.
Yeah, I was kind of iffy on it myself at first, but after seeing it, I thought it actually ended up being pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, he got a lot of stick, Chris Pratt, didn't he? And people got to remember that the one that actually plays the voice behind the character of Mario is not actually Italian anyway.
Yeah.
So, saying Chris Pratt didn't even sound Italian. Well, the other person that does the character in the games, he's not Italian, so I thought it worked out well, and I think he did a really good job, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
It was a lot better than the 1993 Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, God. Wow, yeah.
We're talking about that's a classic.
We have an episode on that movie
Where we
that
talked
did
about it
a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Well, we'll have to get and listen to that one.
Go for it.
Do you do your podcasts in seasons or?
No, we do them just every week.
Just drop them.
Yeah, every week. We do weekly episodes, but then sometimes, say Phil's on holiday or I'm away as well, we tend to think, let's take a break, end it at that season, and then when we come back on, start as a new season. So it's nice and fresh, and you can say you're back to episode 1 and you can go on from there.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I think it's just so we get a break and we get to be lazy, isn't it?
I mean, we're lazy anyway. It doesn't matter if we're doing a podcast or not.
It's valid.
So, Phil, do you want to ask any more questions?
Yeah, so before you were talking about games it was the 64, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Love 64. That's like my jam.
Yeah. So, if you were to have your favorite games from the 64, would you prefer them to be a remaster, so all new graphics and everything, or would you prefer just a standard release of the original but on newer stuff?
That's a tough question.
Personally, it just depends on the game. So, like the original Mario Kart 64, that's my all-time favorite video game to play. That one, just keep it. I think it's great how it is. Now, I would love to see a remastered Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Oh, I would love to see that, but in a movie.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you know what?
I do
There's
want to
actually
see that
talks
movie.
about a live action Zelda movie coming out. They've already spoke about it, haven't they? I believe.
They're throwing the idea around. But I think Zelda would be a good one to remaster. I also think Rayman would be a good one to remaster.
I would like to see an Earthworm Jim.
Remaster?
Yeah, actually, you know what? I wonder what that would be. Yeah, I wonder what it would look like now. Crikey, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like Earthworm Jim is one of those games that, you know, a lot of people have played, but you just kind of forget about after so many years. Like,
Yeah.
honestly, that had completely gone on my head until you brought it up. Every now and again, it just pops up and I'm like, oh, dude, Earthworm Jim. I
Crikey.
haven't played that for years, though.
I know. What a game that was as well. Well, yeah, amazing. So, what I was going to ask next is, you know, we've talked about, you know, in the early days of gaming and all that, but what is it you like about this next generation of games?
You know, honestly, everything past Xbox 360, I'm not too familiar with because I have a 360.
Yeah.
I have been kind of stuck on those games for a while. I've seen like streams of other people playing games that are more modern, but I think they look really cool.
They are, but the only thing is getting hold of them. It's very hard to get hold of them. It's a little bit easier now, but when they first came out, how hard would they get hold of, Phil? It was mad, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
Xbox 360 though, you know, some of the games that were on there, you know, you can just carry on playing them and it'll be like next gen, you know what I mean? Some of the games were fantastic on that console and still are.
Oh yeah, I enjoy them.
I like the Mortal Kombat versus DC.
That's a fun game.
That is super fun. That's really fun to get drunk and play.
Oh, why is that one?
Fighting games like that, I can smash buttons and still do pretty well.
Do you know the thing is though? I used to do that on games because, you know, at the start you're thinking, oh, what's all the? How do you do this, do that? And then next minute you go, oh, how did I do that? I just pressed a load of buttons, didn't I?
Yeah.
Yep. That's why I like them.
I think as a kid, that was the only time I managed to beat my brother on any fighting games.
Well, just press any button and you go,
Yep. Just smash all the buttons on the remote and claim it's skill.
Let me guess, how many controllers did you go through after that?
Not many, because they were very durable back in the day.
Yeah, they were, weren't they?
Yeah, the Xbox, or not the Xbox, but the Nintendo 64 controllers, you could sling those around and use them as weapons and they'd be fine.
Bring them back out.
Yeah.
Bring them back. I think they did actually for the Nintendo Switch. They brought some of the remade the old, you know, controllers. I think Nintendo 64 controller was out there, was it? I think. But no, they brought a few back. So, because you know, you got on the Nintendo Switch, you got Nintendo Online Entertainment, where you can play all the older games if you got, you know, internet connection. And they made it even better by bringing some of the old controllers out to play all them old games, so it would feel like you were playing on the old Nintendos, which I thought was very, very cool and very, very, you know, brainy to think of that, you know. But I think Nintendo are growing now. I think they're gonna be challenging against PlayStation and Xbox. You know,
Yeah.
I believe the Switch 2 is meant to have 12 gig of RAM in it. I mean, yeah, it's a little bit smaller than what you would have in a PC, but 12 gig of RAM in a handheld console, is absolutely pretty amazing.
Yeah. That's really cool.
And you know these days, RAM is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So just going back,
a lot of that.
Sorry, come on. Sorry.
I was gonna say it's okay. No, I was gonna say need a lot of that memory to save your games.
Oh, you do, yeah. Tell me about it. I mean, I had to buy a 2 terabyte SSD hard drive to replace in my PlayStation 5, because if you're ever going to get a PlayStation 5, they start off at, they're meant to be 820 something gigabyte storage, which is an odd storage when you think of it. Who does that? You would bring it closer to the terabyte, wouldn't you? But no, PlayStation didn't. But obviously it's still false as well, because you only get 600 and odd gigabyte because of system updates and everything that are already stored in it and all that. So I think we got about 600 and odd gigabyte, didn't we, Phil, when the PlayStation 5 came out?
Yeah, because it does steal quite a bit, especially with all the updates and everything.
Yeah,
bit annoying.
Definitely. So and then they brought an update where you could put a 2 terabyte hard drive in there, SSD hard drive in there. And I think now they've updated the system where you can put up to about 8 terabyte in it. Not that you need 8 terabyte. I mean, who buys 8 terabyte? Because you're not going to play every single game, are you?
Not unless you're crazy.
Yeah.
I think most of my storage space taken up on my PS5 at the minute is through screenshots and clips and stuff. I really have an issue with that.
Yeah. Do you know what? The same. Do you know what? I don't know why I thought it, but I thought I ordered, when I ordered my gaming PC, I thought I ordered a 2 terabyte one, but I didn't really realise. And as you do, you got something brand new, you put it on, you start it, you download a few games, and you start playing. You don't even realise sometimes you don't even realise how much storage is on there, do you? So I'm going along like this. It's literally just come up a few days ago when I was updating Fortnite, and it says you might experience slow download speeds due to lack of space, and I'm like, oh, I've got a 2 terabyte, haven't I? So then I had to check. It's only got 1. So there's me thinking I've got a 2 terabyte and I've got a 1. How daft is that? I like to see the order though. I'm pretty sure I was talking about a 2 terabyte.
Yeah.
But yeah, like you say,
that's all.
Go on, mate.
Is that 2 terabytes? That's quite a bit, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, with games now these days, they take up anything between 60 gig to over 100 gig of storage. So yeah, 2 terabyte is a lot of storage because you can fit a lot of games on. Because not like games that we used to have where it used to just be like a few megabytes and not even a gig, some of them I think, and now it's like anything between 60 and 100, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah.
So
they are a lot these days.
I just thought of another game that I would like to see remastered, just because it was another one of my fun ones. Yeah. Pokemon Snap.
Oh, yes. I could see that happening as well.
That was a fun game.
That was a fun
I could be mistaken. Did they redo that for the DS when it was out? Or was it like a different version?
Do you know what? No, I might be wrong, but I thought I actually seen something about that, but I might be wrong.
It's a game series. Yeah, it looks like it's for the Switch.
Oh, so
the original though.
The original, so it'll be on like the Nintendo's entertainment thing that they have.
Right, I see. But so the new one's got all the new characters from all the other generations and stuff. But it'd be nice to just have like Gen 1 again, sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get you. I get you there.
Can you imagine that game now, though, with all these ultra graphics and everything? It'd be insane, wouldn't it?
That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, though, speaking about Nintendo, what's your opinion on the price of their games? So I know that with Nintendo, what they do is they keep their price at like a steady, consistent price, and their reasoning is that they want everyone to enjoy the game. So rather than putting the price up really high at the start and then reducing it so that other people can get a go, they put a price at a constant so that everyone will get it like at the same time. But do you think that's their way of actually making more money, or do you think that they do have that actual thought of, no, we want everyone to play it, so there's no reason to wait to buy it?
That's a good question. It's definitely a strategy move on their part. I think, in my personal opinion, I think that if they keep the prices at a good price to sell, then more people are going to buy it straightforward. They're not going to wait to, go to your game store around the corner in 3 years to find it because nobody wanted it. I think if they wanted to play it now instead of waiting, it's affordable and available to you.
Yeah.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah, definitely. And you know what? Go on, mate. Sorry.
I was going to say, as a kid, I was always frustrated, well, when I was younger, I should say. Because, it'd be, every other game company puts the prices down. How come Nintendo are just trying to rob us blind? But then I look at it now and I think, no, their prices were lower than everyone else's initially, but they just stay steady.
Yeah, I totally understand. Totally understand.
I was
that,
a spiteful kid.
I know, yeah. I totally understand that, but have you not seen the prices for PC games? I mean, I remember when Hogwarts Legacy was released. I think it was going for about £60-70 on console. On PC, they were only selling it for £50. So that is quite a standard price for a new game, isn't it?
That came out, 2 years ago?
Yeah, around about 2 years ago now, yeah.
Oh, interesting.
And when it first came out, it was priced at £50 on Steam. It was £50 on Steam, or if you got it on console, it was £60.
Is that a PlayStation only game, or was it on PC and Xbox also?
It's on PC and Xbox, and it's also on Nintendo Switch as well now.
Oh, nice.
I mean, obviously, on the Nintendo Switch, it won't feel the same in a sense that, graphics won't be as great. But I've never played it on the Switch, so I don't know whether it runs smoothly or not. But they did have a problem with that game. It never got released for Xbox and Nintendo Switch for a long time. I think it was a few months later, wasn't it, Phil?
Yeah, I thought it was almost a year,
Yeah,
because I think it's not been on the Switch and Xbox for long.
No, it hasn't. I think it's been on since maybe September, if that. So it's not that long.
So it's new.
It's new for them type of consoles and all that, yeah. But
yeah.
Have you watched any gameplay of that game? It's an incredible game, that.
I've seen some when it first came out. I saw some on like TikTok and stuff like that.
Yeah. Do you know what? I do a TikTok myself as well.
Oh yeah.
And I do a mixture. I do a mixture of gaming and just silly things, as you do. But that's why I wanted to ask a question to all you. Is basically, do you go on TikTok and you say, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch one video," and then it turns out 3 hours later you're still watching TikTok videos, aren't you?
Yeah. Usually every night we'll before we go to bed, we'll come lay in the bed with the dogs, and we'll We'll
Watch about an hour's worth of TikTok.
Yeah, exchange funny ones back and forth with each other.
It's bad, isn't it? Because you're like, I'm going to bed now. I'll just watch one, and then it's like sometimes it's been 10 o'clock, and then it's 10 o'clock at night, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. The time I've decided, oh God, no, I'm not watching anymore.
Oh yeah. You have to put your phone down. I mean, you got to think about it. They're anywhere between a minute to 5 minutes long, and that's where the time goes.
But even the 30-second clips,
time goes by fast.
Yeah, it does. There's not enough time in the day.
It's a good time killer for sure.
It definitely is. If we were stuck in a time lap, God, imagine.
Oh yeah.
So
I mean, sometimes.
What's that, mate?
So I can't imagine what it would be like having TikToks if we were kids.
Oh yeah,
back in our day.
Yeah, I know. I don't think it would be quite the same as it is now. That's for sure. Especially the phones were like bricks, weren't they?
Yeah.
Well, we were just at the start of cell phones.
Yeah, our cell phones were like 2 feet long and the size of like cinder blocks.
Yeah. I remember having a Nokia brick, I think it was. And it was my sister's. She just passed it on to me. But I used to love it because you used to have snakes and ladders and everything on it. It was
Snake.
Like, yeah. Oh, snakes. It wasn't snake and ladders. Snake.
Yeah, just Snake.
But
love that game.
Wasn't it just amazing? Just install. You got games on it already installed, and you're like, the thing is, you'll be on that for ages. Back then,
I remember mine had it was like a version of Tetris on it.
Yeah.
But it was on like that orange and black screen.
Yeah, mine was like just a little screen. I did get a new case for it, a colourful case for it, but it looked like I don't know. It looked like it's something that you pick up. You know, if you were buying a toy from a toy store.
Yeah, definitely.
But no, and now you look at the phones now, you're like, you'd be lost, wouldn't you? You'd be lost if you didn't have a phone.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, phones...
They're like miniature TVs now.
Well, yeah, that's another thing as well. The phones are capable of running high-spec games as well. Some of them are.
Oh, yeah.
Which,
well, it's like when I used to come home from school, when my dad was driving us, he'd pass me his phone and I used to play on Snake in the car on the ride home. Literally, tiny little screen. You had to have your face right up to it to see it. There was no colour. It was terrible. But back then it was amazing. And I think now, I see, picking nephews up from school, they'll be there with an iPad and playing a game that has more quality than any of the consoles I had as a kid. And I'm thinking, God, you are so lucky with that. And then the amount of games that they have as well. And it's not enough. And I'm like, you've got more than I ever had. Shut up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I understand completely.
Oh, my God. Yeah, crikey. Yeah. Very, very interesting then. But I was just going on to the next question. Basically, going back to what you guys do. So, what made you start a podcast in the first place, and what became the radio
I needed
station?
A hobby.
You needed a hobby.
Oh goodness! Yep. Well, the first podcast that we started, we had a production company. We thought, I was trying to get on sets. I used to be a special effects makeup artist, and I was trying to get on movie sets and do, try and get my foot in the door.
Yeah.
And just being behind the scenes of the movies, we could do this. So we have some YouTube shorts. We have full-length movies that we've done out there.
If you would like to be a guest on our show yourself and talk about your background, how you became a streamer or just a casual gamer, just DM us on our social medias, or you can contact us by our email, which is teamworkspodcast@outlook.com. Now let's get back to the episode.
But we kind of we're like, we need to do something else with this production company. So we created a podcast. Well, we talked about nerd stuff for days. We talked about Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Supernatural, Game of Thrones, things like that. And then that kind of dissolved after COVID. Then Mike, myself, and we had a buddy at the time who would come over every weekend, and we would watch comedy movies and get drunk. Well, we thought we were freaking hilarious, and we're like, why aren't we recording this?
Yeah.
So,
Well, it was mostly Parks and Rec.
yeah, it was mostly the TV show Parks and Rec. So we just kind of set up a cell phone in the middle of our bar and hit record, and kind of started the whole thing.
Amazing, amazing stuff. What a fantastic way to just start a podcast. I'm intrigued with everyone's stories, and I like the fact that there's always a different story. And yeah, so we've got through your podcast, and you do a radio station. And what made you do the radio station as well? Was that down to you'd done the podcast and you wanted to extend it and let people listen to music? Was that the case? Or
actually, a friend of mine that I met on a movie set, she had left our area and moved out to California. She had said, hey, I want to get a radio station together. I need DJs. Once I get everything together, would you guys like to be DJs? I was like, that sounds really awesome. We would love doing that.
Yeah.
So it just kind of rolled into, hey, let's just put together a radio station and have fun. We do have fun when we go live with it. We have people send in requests of songs that they would like to hear, and we'll give them shout outs. The radio station is broadcasted all over. It's web-based, so if you have a phone or a laptop, you can, or a smart TV, as we found out on New Year's.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
You can listen to it, so it's really fun to do.
I bet it works with Alexa as well, doesn't it?
I don't know.
We haven't tried with Alexa.
You'd be amazed, because I think Alexa. I just realised she's probably hearing me now. She'll be answering me back in a minute. But I remember I used to present on a community radio, and it was to do with. Have you heard of a game called Truck Simulator?
I haven't.
No.
So basically, it's obviously to do with trucks. Based in Europe, you could drive around and do what you would do as a truck driver. You go and pick jobs up, and you take them across all around over the motorway and all that and everything. And you basically drove your own truck and did it all that. But then they brought out a community bunch of people brought out a multiplayer bit to it, so then it extended even bigger, and now people can just drive with each other and do convoys and all that. And I've been to a few. They're quite interesting. It's a very relaxed game if you just want to drive around and just feel like you're on the road, but you're not, if you know what I mean. But yeah, this radio station was basically based on that game, and I was a radio presenter for them for a short amount of time, and I'm not going to even say any names why I stopped, but they weren't very nice to me. In fact, I was, let's just say this, I was doing my show. People were sending me loads of requests in what songs they wanted to come on next, and next minute I thought, oh no, the internet's crashed. When I looked the second time, he's kicked me off my show, the owner.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So,
my gosh.
So immediately I said, that's just been out of order, mate, and I won't be returning. So, yeah.
I don't blame you.
Well, apparently I said something that was against the rules, and I said, well, you've not said anything in the rules. And he said, oh, it's only just changed now. And I said, well, if it's only just changed now, how is that my fault?
Right.
So
we made sure to go over the rules with our people for the radio station. We're like, can we cuss? What kind of music can we play?
Yeah.
So we can play literally any music. We can say cuss words. It's a good time, especially when we do it on a Friday night and people know about it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I basically just turned around and said, look, someone requested one of the songs. I said, oh, yeah, I'll see if that's in my library, and I'll get it on for you next. If not, I'll get it for you. I thought that was a reasonable answer, and apparently that wasn't allowed. So I couldn't really say that for some odd reason. And when they started the radio station, you could play anything, so from the 70s, 80s onwards, and I used to do a mixture. So I used to do like a bit of 70s, a bit of 80s, and maybe if anyone wanted a bit more than that, I would do that. So I really enjoyed it, like, but when he did that, I was like, nah, that's the end now. Because when I first started, I played a song. Basically, I didn't realise I had a swear word, and then no one told me about it. So when I played it, there was a swear word in it, and I tried to block it out, but because it wasn't blocked out, he said, "Oh, you're not allowed that," and allowed that. But the thing is, there's several other people that have been on there longer than me, and they've been playing songs with swear words in. So I'm saying to myself, so you're having a word with me, but you're not having a word with them. It doesn't make sense. Anyway,
It's a personal vendetta.
Yeah, it sounded like it, and I just left it, and I carried on, and then obviously a few months down the line, he kicked me off my show. So I said, nah, that's a goner for me. That I don't need that. So I just thought the last few years I thought about doing a podcast. I asked Phil if he wanted to join me, and I think it's been a success since we've been starting it, and we love doing it. We love having people on our show, and it's amazing that we've got you guys on.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Oh yeah, man, it's awesome. Sure.
Brilliant. And you know what? We don't just like having a guest on once. You know what I mean? If you feel like you want to come back on our show, just get in touch with us. We'll set up another day when we can record with you again. And I think that's what it's all about, isn't it? You know, I love the podcast world. It's you meet some really nice people, and I certainly have since we've been doing this. And what's your opinion, Phil, on the podcast world?
I mean, you know, I'm the kind of person that loves the sound of my own voice, so podcasts are really no. But, sorry, I couldn't resist. But I mean, the thing is, it's like it's interesting to have It's interesting to have these kind of conversations, though. And I mean, you know, a lot of the times it'll start off as a gaming podcast, and then we'll be talking about life, talking about anything, and it just kind of escalates. But it's nice because you get perspective from a lot of different people, from a lot of different environments, and from a lot of different upbringings, who've struggled with things you may not have, which, help you learn, because obviously it's our failures and stuff in life that really help us move forward. So hearing other people's ways that they've developed their ambitions and stuff, such as yourself, I find it really beneficial. I just love talking and listening to people. There'll be times where I'll just be standing here listening, not saying a word, just taking everything in, thinking, dude, these people are amazing. But I am still listening, even if I'm being quiet. Went on a bit there, sorry.
It's alright. It's alright, mate. I totally agree with you on that one. Definitely. But
see, I used to. Oh,
sorry.
I was going to say I used to hate the sound of my voice. I hated listening to myself talk. I hated everything about it. But once the podcast came around, and editing was always the worst for me, because I'm like, man, I have to listen to myself talk, and it got better. And the indie podcast community that we have formed friendships and strong bonds with, they're just absolutely fantastic. They're amazing. And that's one of my favorite things about podcasting is the friendships.
Yeah, same here.
That we both have made out of this. I can't speak highly enough of the community that we're a part of.
Yeah. I love it. I absolutely love it. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world.
No, I definitely wouldn't. And Twitter's been a good help for us as well, because we've managed to get, meet more friends on Twitter, because Twitter is a big thing for podcasts. So you get to meet all type of people, and it's great that we've managed to find you guys, and you're on our show. It's amazing.
It's fun being a part of it, for sure.
Definitely. And is there any other questions, Phil, you would like to ask yourself?
Well, so because obviously you do the drinking aspect as well of one of your part of your podcast, and with where you're from, you must have a favorite kind of bourbon, favorite brand.
A favorite brand of bourbon? What's yours?
Mine is it's a three-way tie. I like Bullet bourbon.
Mm-hmm.
The orange label. I don't like the rye. There's something weird about the rye.
Isn't rye the green label one?
Yeah.
That's not very good.
And then I like Angel's Envy. That one is a very good bourbon. And then Rabbit Hole. I haven't had that since they first built it and started distributing, but those are my top three.
Nice. What about yours, Mike?
Yeah,
I'm partial more to I like Elijah Craig a lot.
Yeah,
that one's really good. But I also like Bullet and Angel's Envy as well.
So
Buffalo Trace is good.
Ooh.
I do like that one.
Yeah, if you're going for bourbon, Jim Beam and Four Roses, those are overrated. Maker's Mark, overrated. Those are the kind of bourbons that you take to a party and do like mixed drinks and stuff with. But if you're looking for a good bourbon just to
relax
or hang out with people and not like party, but
just sit out and chill around, hang out.
Like
that's a good hangout bourbon. Right, yeah, those are better hangout bourbons.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Maybe pair them with a good cigar, and it's really fun.
Always fun when there's a drink involved, though, isn't it? Definitely.
Oh, for sure.
Definitely. I'm just intrigued with your podcast name. Obviously, your podcast name is named after you guys yourself, which I think is amazing. And was that your first name that you come across when you was you're going to start a podcast?
Actually, no.
We used to be called Happy Hour.
Happy Hour, yeah.
We used to be Happy Hour Podcast, but people were having such a hard time finding it because there are hundreds and hundreds of Happy Hour podcasts out there.
Yeah, and it made our show really difficult for people to find, so we decided to change the name.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, that. Really.
I mean, it's annoying because it is a really good premise for a name for it, especially with what you do, but it's just unfortunate sometimes, isn't it, that you've got to go with a different name to what you actually want, but, I suppose it all happens for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the reason why we also went with Taproom is, we want people to feel like you're hanging out with your friends.
At the bar, yeah.
At the bar. So what do you do when you go to a bar or to a tap room or to a pub? You go with friends and you hang out. So we want people to feel that they're friends with us and we're just hanging out talking.
Brilliant. Do you know what would be nice as well is to hear you guys actually do an episode inside the pub?
We've discussed it. There's a local bar that I frequent. I have friends there, but it's so loud that it would be really a sound issue.
Yeah, you would have to go in a private room, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Or go before they get super busy.
Yeah. Like in the middle of the day.
Yeah. I mean, I've always listened to podcasts, and I'm intrigued with every single one. I mean, I could be just like, cleaning around the house, and I'll have me AirPods in, and I'll be listening to a podcast, and you just feel like you're in a complete different zone altogether. And when I said to Phil, I said, "Do you want to start a podcast, mate?" It was like, "Oh, that's not a bad idea. Let's do it." And we started it in 2021, didn't we, Phil? When the pandemic was around. But we didn't do many episodes, just because, pandemic, it was a lot going on and all that time. So I started thinking to myself, it probably was the wrong time to start a podcast. But
Although, maybe because obviously when we did start it around then, it was great because the fact of the matter is we never really got to go and hang out and spend actual time because of everything going on. So I do find that starting it then did really benefit me from that. But I just think we possibly went about it the wrong way at that time.
Yeah. I think we did. I think we had all high hopes for it being through the pandemic, because obviously, like Phil said, it wasn't like we could get out or hang out and everything. So the best thing to do is have a little laugh and speak on a podcast where people can listen, might make their day just a little bit better. And we started doing, I think we did about 3 or 4 episodes, and like Phil said, I don't think we went around it the right way at the start of it. But then I contacted Phil one day and I said to him, "Do you want to start the podcast up again?" Because I said, I feel like we shouldn't have stopped, and I don't know why we stopped. But I said to him, why don't we bring a guest on our show and see if it's successful, and then we'll bring it into a weekly episode where we try and get people on each week. And since then, it's been absolutely amazing. I mean, how many guests have we had on?
Well, yeah.
And it's great.
It's great because, like you say, you find new people. You become really good friends, and that's what it's all about. The name came from a bit of a silly story. This, and Phil knows about this story. I don't know whether you want to tell this side of it, why it's called Teamworks, or would you like me to?
No, go on. I'll let you do it, mate.
So basically, me and Phil know each other through the real world. We used to work in a community centre / food bank together. We used to, every time we used to do any work, we used to have a mess about, and our favourite word what works, team works, and then we'll end Crash Bandicoot's favourite saying at the end of it, boomerang. So it was a bit of a weird story. Every time we completed something, it was like, what works? Team works. And I said to Phil, I said, when we were starting this podcast, I said, it sounds really daft, but we used to say this all the time. Why don't we call our podcast Teamworks? And he said, you know what? That's actually a really good idea. And it works as well because when you're playing gaming online with people, it's all about team and working with each other. Same with sports and everything, and friendship as well. And I think the name just makes sense, doesn't it, Phil?
I love it. That's a great story.
It really is. That's pretty cool.
It was nice as well because obviously when we used to work at this community centre, when we were there it was really good, but things started happening and people started revealing their true colours and stuff, and it kind of ruined it. But it was a nice way to show memory that, you know, we did have a good time there despite stuff that went on. So it's nice to know that something good still came out of it. That's my view on it, you know. Don't know what you reckon, James.
Yeah, definitely, because, you know,
nice.
There was some things that we seen in the food bank that we did. It was a bit upsetting, you know, like especially Christmas times. Christmas times was the hardest times when families didn't have a lot of money and they couldn't buy presents for the kids or any food and everything, and just seeing the way they were going through and all that, and it was hard to take in sometimes, wasn't it, Phil? Because some families were really, really struggling. It just made our day knowing that we've give them a Christmas, and that's what it was all about when we were working at the community bank, the community slash food bank. It was amazing working there, wasn't it? Until it went all pear-shaped. We're not going to name any names, but you know.
No.
But no, we really enjoyed our time there, and we used to. Do you know what? Someone used to go, "Can you do this for us, James and Phil?" Yeah, we'll do it. Anyway, they won't see us for hours because, you know, we'll be in the back. We'll be like, "Yeah, this is great. This just us two in the back. We're organising where all the food goes and all that." And then, obviously, when you're working, you have to have a mess about as well, don't you? So that's what we did, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, quite a lot. Still did what we had to do, but yeah, we used to have a good laugh in that.
Yeah, and some people used to walk in on us and say, "Guys, what are you doing?" I said, "Oh, we're just, you know, putting up you know, in that container and everything." "Are you sure, guys? I've seen you. I heard you laughing a lot." No, we're just laughing. It's all right. But no, and I think that's why this podcast is even more better, isn't it? You know, because it gets us speaking, because we don't always get a chance to proper speak, do we, Phil? And just because time has gone by and we both don't work at the community centre now for certain reasons, but we've always kept in touch, which is, and that's what friendship's all about. And going through the podcast world and everything, meeting you guys, it's basically our legacy, isn't it, Phil?
Yeah, that's the best way of looking at it.
Yeah. So that's our story about how our podcast started, and why we got guests on, and also why it was named what it was named.
That's pretty cool.
That's awesome.
I like your origin story.
Brilliant. Do you still do the radio, or do you just have it on for music, auto DJ, and all that stuff? What do you do on it now?
We'll be going live on the radio station on Friday night this week.
Friday night. What time? Your time?
7 p.m. our time.
7 p.m.
So it'll be 12 yours.
I mean, I possibly could just stay up that night a little bit later, just listen. To be honest with you,
it'll be Friday night.
Friday night, yeah. Okay, I'll stay up late then.
Yeah, we, like I said before, we take requests from people. So if there's any songs or anything that you want us to play, drop it into one of our socials, and then we'll shout you out and play your song. And it's usually on a good rotation.
Yeah.
Nice. That sounds good. What date did you say again? Sorry.
On Friday.
It'll be this Friday.
What is the second?
The second, right? I'm at my sister's, but I'll put my AirPods on, and I'm pretty sure they'll be in bed by then, so I'll listen.
Go for it, man. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. And
Really?
For those of you listening to the show right now, if you go to our Patreon, it has all of the links for not only our socials and our merch store, but the radio station.
You mean go to our link tree?
Our link tree, not Patreon, link tree.
Our link tree has the link for our Patreon.
It does, but
Brilliant.
And that is if you go to our Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it now.
I still call it Twitter. I mean X. I'm not trying to be rude here or anything, but it sounds like a porn website, doesn't it?
it does.
It does the XX.
If you go to our Twitter bio, the link to everything we have is in there.
Brilliant. We'll definitely check that out, Phil. Phil, are you doing anything Friday night, mate?
I'm definitely listening to that on Friday. I mean, I'm always up anyway, so whatever time doesn't really make a difference to me. I'll definitely give that a listen. I might not make a song request because a lot of my requests are very weird music that no one really knows.
Oh,
well, I know one of them that you probably request, and it's one of the songs I would request as well. I think we should say it. Have you ever heard of a song called "I Think It's in Japanese"?
Oh yeah,
yeah. There's just something about that song, isn't it, Phil? That it's catchy.
It's a very weird song. That's not one of the ones I would have suggested, but that I wouldn't have suggested because, I like a lot of music that, the lyrics are in a different language that I don't even know and don't even understand. So I'm singing along to it, and I'm genuinely singing along in Japanese, and I'm like, I have no idea what I'm saying, no idea what the song's about, but it sounds good.
Do you know what? Do you know what? I have to agree on that because some songs that you hear and you think, I don't understand that one, but it's really nice. What was it? But yeah, definitely. We'll both. You got two new listeners, and I'll definitely request a few songs as well.
Hell
Please do.
Will do.
We love listening to new songs.
Definitely.
Like people introducing us to songs, and we have this one podcast friend who sends us the most random shit, and we don't know what it is until we can get it uploaded and it starts playing. And so then I'll text him and be like, "What the hell did you just send me?"
Does he do that on purpose, or is it actually a song?
No, it's actually a song. It's just ridiculous, and I think he does it on purpose to see the reaction. So
it's gotta be because you're like, well, I don't think I have that song for starters, and I don't actually.
I've got a really cool. I've got a really cool thing that I have on my laptop. It takes YouTube channels and turns them into MP3s.
Oh, nice, nice.
And then I just drop it right in.
Brilliant. Well, I have a what app is it called? It's a really weird app because you can't actually download music off it unless what was it? Yeah, unless you sign in, but the sign in is a bit weird. I'm trying to think what it's called. It's on my PC right now. I'm trying to think what it's called. Bear with me.
This one is just this one's just a website.
Oh, so basically this is called DMix / DMix prreb.exe. And basically what it is, it downloads a software. It's got all music from, is it, what is, you got Spotify, you got is it Doozle? No, not Doozle. I'm trying to think.
Deezer.
Deezer, that's it. So basically, it's a copy of Deezer app, and yeah, in order to log in, you have to log into Deezer on your website, and then you have to copy a code. Once you've signed into it, you got to copy a code from, is it the code manager thing that you can do on Google? You know, where you can it brings files up from behind that software or that website. So then you copy it like a big long password, which it identifies your profile, and then you copy it into DMix, and then
that's cool.
That allows you to download any type of music then, and yeah, that's what I use, because I did do a now and again I do a stream on Twitch where it's a Friday night music chill where people can just come in, they see me on camera and doing all weird stuff, but also we'll have music playing, the people can request for songs, and it's basically just, if anyone's had a hard Friday and they want to chill for a few hours, or even if they're in work and they want to listen in, I'll be playing music right to I think it was about midnight I did it to, so it was about like a 3 or 4 hour stream of music.
That's awesome.
And on our station we'll be posting the link off and on through the night.
Nice one. We'll definitely listen to it. Is there any questions you want to ask Phil just before we end the episode?
No, can I do a shameless little plug though? Just it's with relevance though. So basically, I've been asked by a friend. It's regarding to mental health. Yeah. This mental health group that he runs, he's wanting me to do like a talk about my life with depression and everything. So I've got to choose like some music that is relevant to my life story, sort of thing. So when I'm watching it on Friday, I might suggest some of these songs, which, you know, they're a bit more well known, but like, because music just has quite a strong prevalence in my life, sort of thing.
Yeah, certainly.
And I mean, it'd be nice to, you know, let more people hear some of the stuff that helped me through a lot of hard times.
Yeah, you know what, mental health, it has to be put out there. Everyone's struggling. It can be hard at times, but when you've got music there, like Phil's just said, music does help you through a lot of stuff. And seeing that you guys do a radio station, you have music playing all the time, that's really amazing, because it's something that people can just go and listen, chill, you know, forget about the real world for a few hours, and, you know, just be in that zone where music is everything and nothing else. I always say music is my best friend sometimes.
Yeah, and that's another reason why that we do the podcast too. It's just kind of leaving reality for a couple of hours.
Yeah. And that's basically why we do this podcast, isn't it, Phil? It's one of the reasons. it's definitely helped me a lot. It's definitely, and I'm so glad that we started the podcast and getting guests on our show, which is amazing, and it's ever going to grow. But our aim is, and this is our aim, we want to get Ninja on the show, but it's going to be a tough task to get that. But have you heard of Ninja, by the way?
No. Have you heard of Ninja?
Is he a YouTube guy?
Yeah, he's a YouTube guy
about him.
plus a streamer, and he's very, very popular. He's more popular for being in Fortnite because he's got his own Fortnite character in there. He's also been on a Ryan Reynolds movie, only for a little bit, which was called Free Guys. Have you ever watched that, guys?
Yeah, that's a good movie.
Love that movie.
That's a good movie.
Brilliant movie, isn't it? And you know the scene where it shows you a few streamers?
Oh, really?
Yeah, you know the bit where because they're playing his game, because obviously he's a character inside the game, isn't he? He's an AI. He plays AI in a game, doesn't he? Ryan Reynolds.
Okay.
We haven't watched it since it came out, but
yeah,
we'll have to watch it again.
Yeah, so basically that's what he does. That's basically what Ryan Reynolds does. He plays an AI, and these streamers are playing the game with him in, and some of the streamers that are in there are actually proper streamers in real life. So you got Ninja, Pokemon, she was in there. Was PewDiePie in there, Phil? Or?
Can't remember if PewDiePie was in it. I know Jacksepticeye was in it, and I think Markiplier was in it as well.
Yeah, he was, wasn't he? So some of the big streamers have been in that movie, and that's our aim. We want to get Ninja. Ninja's the one with he normally has a rainbow colour hair type of, he's well known for colourful hair. But he's let's just say he's probably the most successful streamer in history, isn't it? Is that right, Phil?
Oh, I couldn't tell you, mate.
I know he earns he earns a lot just for streaming and stuff. But yeah, that's our aim. We want to get bigger people in. Do you remember? Anyone remember James Berkeley from In Between Us, the one that played Jay?
Yes, I love that show.
Yeah, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. Well, when he stopped In Between Us, he went missing for a little while, didn't he? It was like, he's not been in many things here. But then I seen him pop up on Twitch, believe it or not. So he started streaming games. So he become a streamer as well. I really want to get him on the show as well, but it's gonna take time. But like Phil said, and I've always said to myself, is you only get one answer, don't you? It's either yes or no. So
yeah,
for anyone that's listening, never give up on your dreams. Just keep going. You never know. One day it might just come a reality. And if you want to be on our show, you know how to get in touch, guys. It's Team Wix Podcast at outlook.com. That's our email. We also have a Twitter page, which is TWPod1. Also, we have Instagram and a Facebook page. So you can get in touch with that, with us on that. It's been amazing having Mike and Tabby on from the Grey's Taproom podcast. It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for joining.
So, thank you so much for having us.
Yeah, man, tonight was awesome. Thank you so much.
Not a problem. Thank you, and we'll definitely get you on for part 2 maybe sometime, and maybe by then my voice has gone a little bit better.
Your voice is done fine.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought I was going to cough all the way through it, but I've only coughed twice, I think. So that's a bonus.
Did well.
But yeah, also I want to say thank you to Phil, just for being a fantastic host at the side of me as well. Without you, mate, this show wouldn't go on.
Well, without our guests, it wouldn't go on either. So always got to thank them.
Yeah, definitely. So what we like to do at the end of every episode, we like to ask our guests if there's anyone you want to give a shout out to.
Anyone want to give a shout out to?
Our indie podcast community buddies.
Yeah, all of them. There's a lot to name specifically, but yeah, all of them.
Brilliant. So,
Nice.
guys, give them a look out. They are the Gray's Taproom podcast. You can find them on Twitter, and I think are you on Spotify and Apple Podcasts as well?
Oh yeah, we're everywhere.
Yep,
Yeah,
all
so
over the place.
They're everywhere. They're all across the internet, guys. So you can't miss them. You give them a follow on Twitter. They're a fantastic bunch of people, and we've really enjoyed having them on our show. There is one more question that always happens at the end of our episodes now, is our previous guest asks us a question to our guest that we have on next. So our question to you from our last guest, which was the Doctor's Gaming Gaff, he said if you could design a game, what type of game would you create?
Oh God.
We could design a game. What kind of game?
Oh man, that's a tough one.
It is a very tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, just think of anything you could put together. Maybe something back in the past. Mix it up a bit.
I know. So recently, there was a Texas Chainsaw Massacre game that came out. What I would like to see one that's based off of the Scream franchise, or maybe the Halloween franchise.
Oh yeah, that would be fun.
You can definitely make that then, can't you?
I think that would be fun to see.
Imagine. So what about you,
Yeah,
Tabby?
I would say that one.
Would you say that one as well? Yeah.
I would say Clue,
Oh, like the movie,
like the movie or the game Clue, to where you can pick a specific character, and that character, like you're either the murderer or it kind of like an Among Us type of thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That really cool. And do you know what? That's why I like Fall Guys. Fall Guys is a game that reminds me of Among Us, because basically they're like the same characters, aren't they? But and they actually had a crossover with the Among Us as well, and it looked pretty decent. But that is a very, very tough question. But you really answered that question better than I would have, I have to say. But thank you for the Doctor's Gaming Gaff for that question. That was a tough one.
Do you know, though, the thought of a Clue video game just kind of makes me think of like The Traitors in digital form.
Oh yeah,
The Traitors TV program.
Yeah,
I think that'd be pretty cool. That'd be pretty sick.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, look at games becoming movies and TV series. So, if they can do it that way, then I would imagine movies that have already been movies, they could be games eventually. Would it? Yeah. Makes sense, wouldn't it?
I think it'd be fun.
Do you know
that would be a video game I would play.
Yeah.
Definitely. do you know what I've just done then? I've clicked on my mic on my phone. It's read. It's gone into a text. Everything I just said then. I'm not texting the Doctor's Game Gaffer. Good job I didn't send it, isn't it? He'd be like, what? But honestly, it's been amazing, guys. Thank you for joining, and we'll hopefully it won't be too long before we speak to you again.
Yes, absolutely.
For sure.
Don't be strangers.
Yeah,
Definitely not.
definitely not. But yeah, we'll tune in on Friday when you're doing your radio station. I'll definitely request a few songs, and it'll be a good night.
And our newest episode will be dropped tomorrow as well.
Yep.
So for those of you listening, it dropped on Monday.
Yes.
Yes, it drops
Now
on Monday,
available.
guys.
And if you subscribe to our Patreon, you get early access to it. You can listen to it before everybody else does.
That's amazing. That's amazing stuff. So, guys, if you haven't already, please give them a follow and listen out, because their new episode is out tomorrow. So, guys, thank you for joining. It's been a pleasure. We went over time, but not too much time, because normally we go a lot longer than this, don't we, Phil? Definitely.
Not on purpose, though.
Not on purpose. It's just, you know yourself. You get into the zone and you have a chat. It's brilliant, isn't it? And you just it's a good vibe when when you have a chat, and you don't stop, do you? Basically.
Absolutely, dude.
But yeah, I just want to point out before we do end the episode is my friend Phil has been playing Spider-Man all the way through this episode. I don't know why he does it. Each episode, normally, he's playing on a game trying to platinum it. Isn't that right, Phil?
No.
I mean, how can you multitask like that? Play a game and talk on a podcast?
I'm a man. I've learned to multitask. I'm a myth to science.
I thought it was the other way around. We can't multitask.
Exactly. I'm learning, though.
But yeah, anyway.
I'm playing Spider-Man 2 at the minute, so I've completed all the other ones just on Spider-Man 2 now. It's got pretty good, to be fair. Just can't do much of the story because obviously it requires talking, so I'm not doing that, because otherwise then it's hard to concentrate on both.
Yeah, so you're doing the side missions, I guess.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Mike and Tabby from the Greys Taproom podcast. Thank you for joining, guys, and it's been a pleasure. We'll catch you soon, guys. See you soon.
Yes, see you soon. Thank you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Not a problem. Our pleasure. Peace.